Hey there, Bruce, and welcome back to the Game of Fortune. We have jumped back after Everett's ending, and for some reason when we pick to go back to the door choice, it brings us all the way back to evolution, so this is obviously important to continue. So let's follow Maria and see how that changes things. Oh, I see. Okay, so this time we don't get the choice to join Elizabeth, William, and Grant yet. That's a locked off one, so I guess we need to pick Clyde, Maria, and Lilith. Is that right? Let me just check really quick on the flowchart. What did we have last time? Everett, Teresa, and Alphonse we had. Okay, so we want Clyde, Maria, and Lilith. Let's do it. I'll join door 3 with Maria, Lilith, and Clyde. Since, you know, I'd rather be with people I'm more familiar with. Makes sense. I just hope it works out for us. What's with that attitude? You make it sound like something bad is going to happen. Well, you know that the 4 of us are going to die, so a bad thing could happen to us. Or maybe something amazing will happen instead. Who's to say, right? I want to be optimistic, but don't worry about the details. We'll find a way to make things work. I guess that's all we can do. Plus, there's the issue with Lilith. Don't worry, we're going to fix her up. We are? Well, we can't just leave her like this. Yeah, I get that, but how the heck are we supposed to help? We'll figure something out. It's not exactly the most reliable solution I've ever heard of. But I guess that's what we're gonna have to work with. Alright, in that case, I'll join Everett, Teresa, and Alphonse in door 1. I'm guessing that since we're going to try and get the info out of Maria, she's going to try and get it out of Everett and Alphonse. That's fine with me. Yeah, do whatever you want. I guess we haven't had much time to talk with one another, have we, Kishi? This could be a great opportunity for each of us to learn about one another. Right. Oh, no need to be shy. I quite like you, Kishi. You seem to be the type that's really good at focusing when the time calls for it. That's somewhat true. That'll make it all the more interesting to see what happens when you're really under a ton of pressure. And there she goes again, probably plotting something up. So that would leave me with Elizabeth, Grant, and William then. Ugh. Lord, give me strength to deal with this buffoon again. Hey, it worked out the first time, didn't it? Who knows? Maybe I'll end up being your lucky charm. Unlikely. Yeah, I'm already Elizabeth's good luck charm. She doesn't need anyone else. Perhaps so. I'm certain that you only help Elizabeth in the future. I'm certain that you'll only help Elizabeth in the future. Which means... Grant, need a good luck charm? No thanks, I'm sticking to making my own luck. Rejected twice now. Can't anyone show some kindness to poor old me? Seems that I'm on my own. Oh well. Guess it'll just make things a challenge in the future. You should have bounced back quick. Alright, well that takes care of the groups. So we'll be going on ahead then. Don't miss me too badly. I'll probably be back. Not if I can help it. Oh, I do so love a challenge, Alphonse. Keep it moving, you two. You can fight it out in whatever game we end up playing. Everett, Teresa, Alphonse, and Kishi walked through the door, but just before it closed, Kishi turned and waved at all of us. Good luck and good fortune, everyone. One last parting cheer before the door closed behind her. Alright, so what's the plan exactly to help Lilith out? I mean, she still seems out of it. Yeah, she's definitely not all there. Should we at least try to see if we can get her to respond to anything? We tried snapping our fingers, talking to her and poking her. It's like she's in a trance. Maybe we could try forcing a response. How do we go about doing that? I don't know, like maybe you pour some water down your throat. Are you trying to waterboard her? No, but like you gag and then your body would just kind of reactivate. Chances are she'd probably slap whoever did it to her, so... If we're gonna try and just shock her back to normal, couldn't we just splash some cold water on her face? Oh yeah, I guess that could work too. Did you really not think about that first, Clyde? Should I just get a cup or something then? Guess that could work. I don't exactly think that'll help a bunch though, honestly. You don't think? It's just a hunch. I mean, what we need is to pull her out of her mental shock, so... Maria stared at Lilith, trying to lock eyes with her, but was interrupted as William walked over. You guys are still trying to figure out what's wrong with Lilith? Well, we can't just leave her like this. Why not? What's it matter to you if she's messed up in the head or not? If anything, it just means it'll be easier to beat her in whatever game you play. Not everything is about winning, you know. Isn't it? If you're not trying to win, then what are you trying to do? If she can't handle the heat, then she should stay out of the kitchen. You're a real dick, you know that? What? I'm just telling the truth. Even if you help her out, what's the matter if she ends up dying later? Your help isn't going to matter in the long run. Anyway, she's gonna be in the stunned state then. Might as well check out her hat. I always thought Laura was pretty neat, so... Huh? Before we knew what William meant, he reached out and grabbed Lilith's hat off her head. Hands off! And in that moment, Lilith seemed to burst back to life and grabbed William's arm. What the hell? Let go. Let go of it. William seemed too stunned to even realize what Lilith was saying. Ah, you're gripping my arm too hard. Let go of my hat. Alright, I'll let go. William let go of Lilith's hat, and in turn, Lilith released William from her iron grasp. She took a moment to adjust her hat before sending a death glare at William. Jeez. Lay a hand on it again and I'll slice it off. You wouldn't. I mean, I don't even want your stupid hat. I just figured this was the best way to wake you up from your stupor. Yeah, that's it. You should probably be thanking me. Piss off already, you punk-ass kid. I'm not in the mood to deal with your shit. And like a hurt puppy, William backed off as Lilith stared him down. Well, that worked in a weird sort of way. Yeah, how you feeling, Lilith? How am I feeling? How the fuck do you think I'm feeling? My sister Laura, she got burned to ashes right in front of my face. All because she wanted to save me. That's how she always is. Altruistic to a fault. Always trying to help others before helping herself. Damn it, why couldn't she just be selfish for once and think for herself? Why couldn't she just leave me alone? And that bitch Teresa. Hey, easy. Easy, don't tell me to ease up, you weren't there. You didn't see what the fuck she did. Where the hell is she? I swear I'm gonna... Lilith looked around the room and realized that Teresa wasn't anywhere nearby. She went into another room. She's already playing another game. You're telling me that heinous fucker is... Chances are she might end up dying, so... Does that help? No, it doesn't. You know what I want? I want for Teresa to win her game, so that I can wring her neck myself. That's a bit much, don't you think? Fuck off, you didn't see what she did. She was reveling and watching us agonize over each and every action she did. Hunting us down for the fun of it. She didn't even do it to survive, she just wanted to see us suffer. To see us cry, to see us fucking wallow in anguish and despair. She's nothing short of a monster. I don't care if I survive this damn place anymore. If it's the last thing I do, I'm gonna make Teresa wish that she didn't fuck with me and my sister. It's the least I can do for her. I understand. Do you? Don't just say random shit to try and make me feel better. The hell would you know about a loss like that? My mother was murdered 4 years ago, all because she wanted to bring the truth about a horrible organization to light. All I've thought about since is getting revenge after against the bastards that killed her. That's why I'm here. That's all I've ever wanted ever since I found out the truth. So I understand that desire for revenge, that burning sense of hatred and anger to get back at the people who caused you so much pain. I'm rooting for you. I don't think anyone who's playing these games to fuck people over definitely does... I think that anyone who's playing these games to fuck people over definitely deserves a slow and painful death. Clyde and I looked at one another. I don't think either of us expected such harsh words to come out of Maria, of all people. 4 years, huh? Why'd you wait 4 years? If you knew the fucker that killed your mother, why not do something about it? I just didn't have the means to make him pay. As much as I wanted to, I couldn't get to him. I couldn't kill him even if I wanted to. What, this guy's some sort of wealthy politician or something? Some fucked up influence that can't be touched by the law? Nah, not quite that. I mean, I just literally couldn't kill them. They're immortal. I don't think I get it. Are they on the other side of the planet, out of reach? Sure, you can say it's like that. Point is, I can make them pay here, today, if I get the wish I want. And no one's gonna stop me. If it's the last thing I do, I'll make sure that asshole that killed my mother suffers the same way that she did. Well, if you're that dedicated, I guess you really do know what it's like to lose someone you love. Don't think a bundle of smiles like you would be all that vengeful, though. I can still be cute when I want to do a little murder, you know? I don't think that's the point she was trying to make. Well, regardless, it seemed to have snapped Lilith out of whatever funk she was in. That was more of William just being inconsiderate than anything. Oh yeah, but still. Now she's got some kind of motivation to keep going. Yeah, burning revenge. I guess it's as good a motivator as any. So mind filling me in on exactly what's going on here? Like, I remember the game before, but everything after that was a haze. Oh yeah, we can fill you in on all the details. We gave Lilith a quick rundown of what happened with the group decision. Once she understood that she was going in the third door with us, she sat down and seemed to calm down a little. I see, so we're in the second round. Still plenty of games left to go. And Teresa went in the first door with Everett, Alphonse and Kishi. Yeah, that's basically what happened thus far. Well, I guess there's not much to do that I can do but wait then. If I'm lucky, I'll get my chance at revenge. Otherwise, she shrugged and walked over toward the kitchenette. I'll just see if this wish thing will get me my sister back. That's all you can do, isn't it? Well, I can get myself a drink at least. Is that really a good idea right now? I can handle my alcohol just fine. Don't worry about me. But she didn't bother listening to another word that we said and walked over toward the kitchenette. She sure is stubborn. I'll say, but better stubborn than shocked, right? At least this way she can keep going forward. Looks like you got Lilith back on her feet. Yeah, she'll be able to think properly. She'll at least be able to think properly. Even if she's really only doing it for the sake of revenge. Revenge, huh? She's gunning for Teresa's head, which, considering what she did, seems completely fair. She should be a bit careful about letting her anger drive her forward. It can lead to making some tragic decisions down the line. It's probably fine. I think Teresa deserves whatever's coming to her. Though it is kind of interesting to hear that from you, Grant. Huh? I figured you'd know all about revenge and wanting to take it out on the people who wronged you. I remember how you were bragging about it, what, 8 years ago or so? Wait, you were there? Yeah, I mean, you were throwing your weight around, telling everyone how you basically got revenge for being dumped by your girlfriend. It's kind of hard not to know about it. What are you talking about? Nothing. It's nothing. It was just a different point in my life. I don't want to talk about it. Regretting what you did back then? Immensely. That's the whole reason that I'm here. Really? You know, that kind of explains why you seem so wimpy. I definitely remember you being a lot more loud, cocky, and kind of an asshole back in the day. Do you two know each other? Well, I don't really know Maria all that well, but she probably knows of me. Yeah, back in the day, Grant sort of worked as, like, security and enforcement within the Digits of Eden. Kind of like the muscle in organised crime. Wait, really? Grant? This Grant? This guy used to be some kind of, like, brutish bully? What, knocking on people's doors and asking them for money? Extorting people or beating them up if they didn't follow rules? This Grant? Yeah, I remember that he had a different hairstyle back in the day too. Maybe that's why I didn't recognize him off the bat, but yeah, that's basically what he did. So you were part of the Digits of Eden then? Well, I wouldn't say I was part of it, more like I was just hired as outside muscle. I didn't really follow along with their dogma or principles, I just wanted money and authority at the time. A lot of people were like that, just a bunch of gruff assholes that could be controlled with enough money. I will give Cole credit where it's due. He knows how to get the right people, who that are loyal, intimidating, and easy to control. Cole? Oh yeah, I guess you wouldn't know him. He was the man in the green mask, Cole Garrett. He's basically in charge of, well, he'd call it security, but it's much more akin to a military. What, military? You telling me the Digits of Eden have their own military? Well, not a military, maybe more of a militia. Basically has a bunch of gang connections as well as hired guns. That could make for an intimidating force if he wanted to. Obviously nothing that could rival the actual military, but it's enough firepower to keep the peace within the organization, and certainly enough to intimidate other people into doing what they want. And since they've gotten more money, they've been able to get more people, more equipment. Frankly, I'd be terrified to go against them now. And you were part of that? Like I said, it was a different time for me back then. Never would have guessed you used to be part of a gang. You just looked so meek, like you couldn't hurt a fly if it stole all your money. Well, that's good. I'd rather be seen as weak and harmless and intimidating and threatening. I cut ties with the Digits of Eden. I didn't want anything to do with them. And because of that, I think I've been doing better for myself. Well, good on you for getting out of the Digits of Eden when you did. Though you probably did more damage with your old wish than you think you did. You even know about that, huh? Wait, a wish? You were involved in this game 8 years ago? Yes, but again, I'd rather not talk about it. Didn't know there were so many people that had played this game and survived. Anyway, I didn't mean to get too involved with the conversation. I just wanted to see how Lilith was doing. Oh, she's getting a drink right now. If you want to talk to her, now's your chance. I think I'll pass. She probably needs a few minutes to herself. Probably. Besides, you're the type of person she'd probably get the most annoyed with. Yeah, so I'll just let her do her own thing for now. You sure know a lot of people, Maria. Well, I don't really know Grant personally, I just remember hearing about him. And we had a few chance meetings. Not that he ever extorted me or my family or anything, but we did hear the rumors regarding his wish. So what was his wish? He wished to kill someone. Really? Yeah, but that was 8 years ago. So maybe he really changed a ton since then. But back then it was a huge deal, honestly. Really? Why? As far as I can remember, people weren't allowed to use wishes to kill anyone. That was the rule at the time, at least until Grant came around. So when he went around bragging about what he'd done, well, it kind of unsettled a lot of people. A lot of us thought the Digits of Eden only did good things, helped people, got them back on their feet. So hearing that a member was proudly claiming they murdered someone without any repercussions was freaky. You should know a lot about them. Well, yeah, I was basically born in the organization. My mum joined them before I was born. That matches up with whatever it told me earlier. Really? Well, that explains your knowledge at least. Have you been with them your whole life? just about, really, as far as back as I can remember. I was always surrounded by the Digits of Eden people. So many good memories, but nothing to be done about the past. Anyway, I don't want to bog you down with details of my past. There's way too much to talk about. I mean, I'm kind of interested. We'll get a first-hand account of exactly what the Digits of Eden are all about. Don't tell me you're interested in them. No, I'm not interested in joining them, just... Well, you could give us some insight onto, like, what they do and what their deal is with this place as well. You said you were basically born into them, so maybe, like, tell us how you managed to grow such a following despite this place being a horrible death game? Oh yeah, I guess I could fill you in on details like that. It'll still be a long story though, there's a lot to go over. We got nothing but time here, at least until it's time for us to go. Speaking of, looks like the other group's getting ready to leave too. Really? I guess we should see them off. We got up and walked back over toward the door where Elizabeth, William, Philip and Grant were gathered. Ah, come to see us off. Seemed it was the right thing to do. After all, you never know who's going to survive their games. True, this might be the last time we see one another. Hopefully that's not the case, but you can never tell. Those two are awfully quiet. Did something happen? No, I'm fine. Just getting myself ready for the game is all. Did they have some kind of fight? Elizabeth did say she wanted to talk to him about something. Maybe she gave him a lecture. Well, let's not waste any more time now. Let's not leave Belle waiting. Was it something I said? Without another second, the others walked into the game room, leaving Philip confused for a moment before he walked in. Well, that was weird. You're telling me. I know Grant was a bit quiet, but Willie was pretty damn loud. Maybe Elizabeth really did give him a stern talking to. You know, like how parents discipline their kids when they pout about it. I guess. Maybe she's trying not to get screwed over by him being a dumbass again. Yeah, maybe something like that. Well, good luck to them. I feel like they're gonna need it. Probably. So we're gonna sit down and hear your story now? I don't mind it. Hopefully it won't last too long. Should we pull Lilith in to see if she wants to hear my tales? I can go ask, though. If she's still drinking, it might be better to just leave her alone. Maria and I sat down on the couch while Clyde went to fetch Lilith. Turns out that she was willing to listen to Maria's past, probably because she was getting tired of drinking and being alone with her own thoughts. And thus Maria had herself a captive audience. Never would have figured I'd be talking about myself so much today. If I did, I would have definitely had a speech prepared. Well, look, I ain't trying to hear a speech about your life story. I just want to figure out what the deal is with the Digits of Eden and why they just straight up lied to my sister about what this place was. Clyde said you were born into it, so you might as well tell me how they conned so many people into following them blindly. You don't pull any punches at all, do you? But that's alright. I'll try to be as entertaining and as informative as I can be. But be warned, this isn't exactly a happy story. It's a really fucked up one. Get on with it. I can handle whatever bullcrap you had to deal with. Could have been worse than whatever I went through. What did you... I'm not telling you. Alright, well, don't say I didn't warn you. It all started when I was a baby, or really, I guess before I was a baby. My mum was pregnant with me. My father had abandoned her. She was having a hard time keeping down a job. She had a crippling alcohol addiction that was tearing her apart. She was desperate. Wait, your mother had an alcohol addiction while pregnant? Yeah, she tried her best to hold off while she was pregnant, but addiction is a terrible beast. Are you born with any disabilities because of that? You're just going to ask that out of the blue? Should I not? Alcohol consumption during pregnancy can really affect a baby's development. I don't really know all the details. My mum told me that I was a small baby and I might have cried a lot. But that's just what babies do, right? Well, let me just tell you, you could have had a collection of disabilities and disorders depending on how much alcohol your mother was drinking while she was pregnant with you. And if she was breastfeeding you while she was drinking, then... Oh, she didn't breastfeed me. By the time I was born, I was getting taken care of by, like, a bunch of different people. So just to backtrack, before I was even born, my mother was basically sought out by the concerned people from the Digits of Eden. They found her a safe place to live, some food, money, basically everything and anything that she needed, just to get out of the crappy apartment she was living in. And after I was born, a lot of different people came by to check on her, and me, to make sure that we were doing okay. Sounds to me like they really did care about you then. Well, those people did. There were a bunch of concerned mothers that saw my own mum needing help and did everything they could to ensure that we were taken care of. So for a while, my mum could just focus on getting better, looking for work. All that while, I was cared for by basically babysitters. By that time, she was already a member of the Digits of Eden, so she really was getting a ton of help. They gave her a new home to live in, caretakers that would help with cooking and cleaning, watching over me, all that sort of stuff. For a while, it basically did seem like all they wanted to do was help, and at least that's what my mother said. They tried to get her some help with her alcohol addiction. Sounds to me like they had really good intentions, but something must have changed, right? Well, it's not so much that things changed for me. It was just like a weird life. I think that everyone that helped would always sing praises of the Digits of Eden, how it was a loving, nurturing community where everyone helped one another. They drilled that into my mum soon after she joined, and as I was growing up, that's all I would hear too. They basically homeschooled you. You get your usual education, but they'd also talk to you about the Digits of Eden and how great they were and how we needed to do our part to help it grow. Because if you could help it grow, then you could help more people. That's the kind of messaging they used, so they could get money out of you. Ah, so like a cult in a literal sense, just a bunch of loons trying to suck up some poor desperate saps out of their money. Yeah, but they also seem to be giving housing, food and help. If they're really a terrible cult, they at least seem to care for their members in a weird roundabout way. Don't give them too much credit. They just know that happy, healthy, safe members aren't going to rat them out. Plus, if you got a job, are content and are getting help from them, you're more often than not happy to pay them all the benefits. It doesn't come from a place of goodwill, it's just how they make you dependent on them, from a social and economical standpoint. Imagine living with this lovely community that cares for you, but it's conditional on paying up fees, and you get food, water and goods from the same people. The last thing you want is to jeopardize those relationships. And they start you on it real early. Like I said, they teach you in homeschooled environments. They set up playdates with other members' kids. You eat out with their members. It seems so innocent at the time, but they try to pull you away from any other family or friends that aren't involved in the Digits of Eden. And everyone that's not in, the people that you cared about, they tell you not to bother with them. Or maybe yet, or better yet, try to pull them in, invite them to the Digits of Eden. Show them how amazing it can be. That's what it was like growing up, and it felt normal, just seeing everyone else out there in the world as poor, pitiable souls that needed help. They just needed to see how great the Digits of Eden were. How they could change lives if they're just given a chance. Yeah, it sounds like classic cult behavior. Love bombing, isolating them from family and non-member friends. Using the benefits as a form of control to keep people from leaving or acting out against the cult's interests. Yeah. When you're born into that kind of life, you don't see the world as it really is. Everything about your life is all fucked up and you don't even know it. And the Digits of Eden took it a few steps further to really sell the idea that they were miracle workers that could just fix just about anything. How'd they go about doing that? Wishes? When you're young, they have this event called Miracle Day. It was usually a day off school and a bunch of kids and their parents would sometimes travel around to see miracles being performed. Sometimes you get to see a sick person who was withering and dying and then suddenly they become healthier. Or there'd be an old man and his deceased wife would be embracing one another. Wait, what? You're telling me they were bringing back the dead? Let me guess. This is all from this Game of Fortune thing. People making wishes where they could bring back their dead loved ones or curing whatever disease or illness someone they loved had. Rhea slowly nodded her head. A real miracle, of course. We were always told to keep this stuff a secret, but it worked, you know. Each time we go around traveling to some person's home and seeing some people just overjoyed with happiness and glee, I always thought, it's amazing that I'm a part of this. We're helping so many people. I want to be a part of that too. I want to help people out a ton as well. From a young age, I knew I wanted to get more people in. I wanted to help them to have the same smiles I saw in others. To give second chances to people like my mother who never got them from anyone else in the world. Even now I still do. I just want to help people. I just want to give them a second chance, a better chance. That's how they get people, isn't it? Those people who are isolated, downtrodden and feel like they don't have any hope left, right? So that's why they pick some sad sap like me, huh? Just some desperate guy trying to get help for his mother. Yeah, I don't know the details, but they probably wanted to get you involved in all this because they thought you'd fall right into the cult after you were done with the game. Well, but that doesn't make any sense. If this game is going to get all but one of us killed, what point is there in trying to court us into joining the cult? And why us anyway? It's not like we're special or anything. Couldn't they just try and get us to join in any other way? It helps sell the illusion that anyone could participate in the game. You might not think it's anything special, but this game is sort of what the whole cult is based around. Winning it and getting wishes granted, that's the dream of anyone in there. They have access to a god that can actually physically affect the world. Great, so we're just here to show people that with enough money, dedication and willpower, you too can die in some horrific death game. Basically, though they don't really know what it's like in here. That's all well and good, but you still haven't answered the most important question. How the heck did you get out of it? Clearly you know how the cult works, but you're still here. So what, did you find some way to break away while still pretending to be involved? What made you want to leave anyway? My mother was murdered by one of the people in charge of the Digits of Eden. That's the kind of thing that snaps you out of the nightmare that you're in when you're in one of these cults. As for how I managed to get in, well, it's because you're a recruiter, right? A really good one. Yep, like I told you before, sort of like a star to them. A recruiter, huh? You were pulling in people to this cult even after they murdered your mother? Well, not quite like that. I was recruiting up to 4 years ago until my mother died. Then I sort of stopped, but I had to at least pretend to put in a bit of effort here and there to make them think I was still on their side. I hate doing it, but it was the only way to keep the act up. And because of that, I'm in the perfect position to get the revenge I'm looking for. Good for you, I guess. I skimmed over a few details here and there, but that's about the gist of it. The Digits of Eden in general isn't really full of bad people, just a bunch of poor souls that got sucked into this cult because they wanted and needed help. It's the bastard at the top of, and the ones that are happy to exploit people like my mother that are screwing everything up. Well, I'd argue that any cult is screwed up in general, but I get the point you're making. Still seems like a lot of steps to get revenge on some cultist arsehole. Like I said before, this is just what I have to do. Anyway, all you need to know is not to mess with the Digits of Eden, and scram, and don't talk with them. That means Kishi, Everett, Zeph, and Teresa. Don't worry, I don't care about this cult bullshit. I just want to give Teresa a piece of my mind. Right. Anyway, hopefully that satisfied you. It certainly gave us a bit of info, but it's not quite as specific as Kishi probably wants to hear. She's probably going to want a name. At least we know that she's basically came here for revenge against whoever murdered her mother. So then who was it? Who was it that murdered your mum? It's probably one of the people in the masks, right? I'm just assuming it was someone at the top, unless it's just some random person that's also in the cult. It'd be nice to know who to avoid them if we end up getting out of here. I don't want to make any of them want to kill me. Oh, nice job, Clyde. That's a good way to ask who she's planning to kill without making it obvious. Good point. We're really bad if you got out of here and got on their bad side. The full goes well, you won't have to worry about that kind of thing. It was the guy in the gold mask, Nigel fucking Edwards. I see. That guy seemed like a charmer. Definitely could lead a cult with whatever charisma he's got. Well, thanks for warning us. No problem. I'm happy to keep you guys safe. It was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I guess the alcohol did do some damage to her when she was in her mother's womb. Mostly to the neurons. She's going to try and kill Nigel Edwards because he killed her mother. I guess it's a pretty straightforward reason for wanting someone dead. So I'm kind of curious as to why that's the case. Everett said she died of natural causes. Maria obviously thinks otherwise. There's got to be some reason for the contradiction, right? Either Everett is straight up lying or Maria is lying about her true intentions. But she doesn't really seem like the scheming or lying type. Maybe I can ask how she knows Nigel killed her mother. Maybe she just saw him do it. That would make the most sense. But that might be harder to ask than who she's trying to kill, especially if she thinks I might doubt her. Looks like your story passed enough time for the doors to open. Alright, well, let's get right to it then. Maria bounced off her seat and headed over toward the door, and Lilith followed right behind her. Well, I guess this is our next stop. Yep, how you feeling? How am I feeling? I had a near breakdown a while ago, and here I am just about to go into another death game. But I'm still standing, right? So I guess I'm doing okay. I'm managing. Maybe the worst shock has already passed. What about you? If I'm being honest, I'm kind of unsettled about how comfortable I'm getting about all this. Comfortable? You're telling me you like this stuff? No, of course I don't like it. It's more like the fear and stress don't feel as bad as when I started. Maybe I'm just coping. Better to numb the feeling of panic and to just go through the game by game than flail around like lambs to the slaughter. So it's not really comfort, just adapting to the situation? Okay, that's a much better way to explain it than what you said before. I was afraid you were starting to enjoy this. Not a chance in hell I'd ever want to do this for fun. Hey, can you two quick jabbering and get your asses over here? But come down. Sheesh, nobody has any patience at all. Well, as long as we got each other, everything's going to be okay. Yeah. Clyde held my hand and we walked over toward the door to join the others. And we entered through the door once again, watching as it closed behind us. And with that, we're going to wrap this one up here because we're out of time for today. And we'll be kicking off the next death game in the next episode, I suppose. So that will be interesting. Moving on toward the next ending. Still got a few to go, I think, but, you know, we're getting there. Anyway, thanks for watching, Bruce, and I'll see you in the next one.